Is this your first podcast interview of the day?
Of the day? Yeah, totally. I actually haven't done that many, so I think it's like my third or fourth one
Go
in
ahead and
history.
tell us how good we were and how we're the best podcast you've ever
You
done.
are. You're my favorite one.
See, she read my mind. We
Oh
really
my
are the best.
gosh. Don't tell the others. All
Listen,
the
as a
time.
drummer, we get very little respect. And so I need all the ego boost I could possibly get,
You got it.
especially being her drummer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Groove Lab podcast.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. My name's Lauren Alexander. This is Jeff Odom, and we're
Hello,
glad
people.
you're here with us.
Yeah, totally.
I'm so excited for our interview
Completely
today.
excited.
Ugh, the girl we're interviewing is just super talented, and I'm just really, really stoked to talk
Listen,
to her.
I've already listened. I know I haven't told you this, but I've already listened to her song like one song about 6 times this morning.
It's so freaking
So good.
It's so good. What's funny is before I even knew that we were going to interview her, I had found her on TikTok. She had the song go kind of viral, the song that you're talking about. And I followed her on TikTok, and now we're interviewing her today. The circle of
how the world works.
I know. I love it. All right, everyone. We are here today with Leah Lawson. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, Leah. Welcome to the Groove Lab.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure.
Of course. Honestly, we are so excited. We are huge fans of you. So
yeah,
we're super
Listen,
stoked.
I went down the rabbit hole this morning on your music and fell in love with your stuff. I did.
Gosh, thank you.
Went from Instagram to Apple Music, just listening to all of your live videos on Instagram and your new album. I loved a couple songs I want to talk to you about, but we'll get to that point later. But I think Laura's been following you longer than I have.
Yeah, I actually started following you. Back when you had your viral TikTok, in I don't know, a couple months ago. When was that?
Yeah, I think it happened in like 2021. So it's been like a minute, but yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. So I found that song and so good.
Oh.
So good. But okay, so let's start at the beginning. How did you get into music?
Gosh, I mean, I grew up singing. My parents like both were in like church choirs, so they kind of passed on the like singing in church thing to me. So I started singing at a pretty young age. Like I think the earliest like recital I can remember would have been like 12 years old or something. So I've always loved singing and music. And then I started writing my own songs when I was about like probably freshman in high school, so like 14 or 15. And it was like around the same time that like Taylor Swift had released like her like 15 album. And I was like, could I do that? So I was like writing about my crushes too, and then kind of just kept going from there.
That is awesome.
Did your parents support you with this
definitely.
endeavor? Okay.
Definitely. My mom is like, my parents are like some of my biggest fans. My mom especially, she's like convinced that I'm gonna like be in the Hall of Fame or something. She like says all the time. I'm like, Mom,
that's a good parent.
Yeah, she's
better than the opposite, for sure.
Yeah. Totally.
So you just recently released your latest project, Flood House. It's just beautiful and haunting, and I know we just keep saying your praises, but it's so good. It's so good. And so I'd love for you to talk to us about that album and some of the songs on the album.
Yeah, totally. So as like a collection of songs, some of the songs are a bit older. I would say I started writing for the album like 6 or 7, some of the songs even like 8 years ago. And then just kind of had this like body of work, and I recorded it actually before the pandemic. So I was like gonna release it in like 2019, and of course like things didn't go to plan. But it's been like interesting like sitting with the songs for that long and kind of being like, okay, like here they are. I've been like really, really excited to like finally get it out there, so it's not just me knowing about it. Yeah. So
well, tell us about the songs on the album and the inspiration behind them.
Yeah, I feel like the album as a whole is kind of like, it has sort of like a biography type like feel to it. I feel like it's a lot about like my history and my family history. And then I wrote like, I used to be very, very into the church. I was also like homeschooled. So I grew up, very involved in that. And kind of as I got older, kind of, went a different direction. So a lot of the songs are kind of about that, like what it's like to just grow up and have religion be like your entire life. And then suddenly it's not anymore, and kind of processing that. So yeah, there's a lot of that theme on the album. And then of course, just like, I'm like early 30s now. So there's a lot of like, early 20s heartbreak and devastation on there too.
Did your parents? Okay, I got a couple questions. I
Yeah.
love the song "Cheaper Kind." All right, I initially found it on Instagram and you playing it live, and the lyrics were absolutely beautiful. I love the lyrics on it. Um, I'm assuming you went through some kind of faith crisis of some sort. Did your family support you with all this, and or did they take the same journey with you, or is there any issues there since you kind of doing your own thing here?
Totally, totally. I would say at first it was crisis is the right word for it.
All right.
I would say at first I was like, oh no, my entire world is falling apart. And it was, I don't think I was very open about it at first. I didn't like talk to my family about it. I just kind of quietly like was pretending still to be going to church. And like made up churches that I was going to. But as we kind of all like got older, I kind of was just like, I'm just tired of hiding this. So my parents have actually been really supportive of that. And I feel like they've been on their own journey. They're not as like involved in, I don't want to speak for them, but they've been on their own journey too. So I feel like they've been pretty understanding of like where I've come from. And it's been, not as tumultuous anymore.
I get it. I get it. It's awesome. I've been on a similar journey in my life, and so it really related to me a little bit. I I just thought the opening line about being baptized in the lake
Mm-hmm.
with it before you could even say a bad word. I forgot what the exact lyric was. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that is such a powerful line you did. I said, this is coming from something from her life, obviously. And so
Definitely.
I really dug it a lot.
Well,
Are
I
you from Asheville, North
Um,
Carolina?
no, I'm actually originally from Orlando, Florida, is where I grew up.
All right.
But I've always loved the mountains. I've been in Asheville for like a year and a half. But yeah, I grew up in Orlando. So
How
all
was
of
the music scene in Asheville?
yeah, it's really sweet. It's a great community. I'll say like I lived in Nashville for a few years, and the vibe there is definitely very different for
Sure.
music. And here I feel like it's really sweet. It's like a very supportive artsy community. So it's actually been really fun. Yeah.
Usually pretty busy playing live.
Um, yeah, I haven't got out as much as I want to, but I think since now that I have like something to promote, I'll be playing more. I do have a show coming up October 2nd here at the auditorium if you have any local Asheville listeners. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to say, when you were saying how much that related to you,
Yeah.
I think it related to a lot of people. Just from your viral TikTok, tell us about that and what that was like.
Yeah, that was kind of a crazy experience. When I first got on the app, I felt like, am I too old to be doing this? I had that kind of crisis, like, are people just gonna make fun of me?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's tough. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I don't really want like people that know me to like find this, that I'm doing this. But I had a friend who like encouraged me. She's like, no, crazy stuff's happening. Like, you should really try it. So I posted like every single day for like, I don't know, 8 months or something. And it was like, I think I had like 10 followers. So I was absolutely shocked when that started happening. Like when that was blowing up, it was just like a really fun experience. And I was also, yeah, like kind of amazed to find how many, because the song feels pretty specific to me. Like you said, those lyrics like that, it did happen like that. So I was kind of shocked to find like so many people relating to it and being like, oh my gosh, I feel like you wrote this about me. So yeah, it was super cool. And I have like some like TikTok friends from it now. So it's, yeah, people I still stay in touch with. So
That is so cool. Yeah, I think a faith crisis is something that people probably don't talk about too much, and I think you can feel pretty alone in that. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool that you were able to reach such a broad audience.
For sure. I mean, we all kind of have these struggles in life where we can't differentiate between religion and having faith and having some kind of spiritual life, and it all gets intertwined and it gets really mixed up in our head, and there's conflicting theories about this and that and the other, and it's just so much. Sometimes it's too much, and you got to let go of some of those past thoughts that you had, and I really appreciated it.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. I feel like you summed it up really well.
Season 3 of the Groove Lab podcast is brought to you by Kaiser Musical Products. Kaiser is a family-owned and operated guitar accessories company, proudly made in East Texas and globally recognized for their world-famous quick change capos.
Guaranteed with a lifetime warranty, Kaiser capos are ready for whatever the road throws at them.
And you really don't own a capo if you don't own a Kaiser.
That's what I've heard.
Check them out online at kaisermusical.com.
Well, what made you leave Orlando?
Okay, so I actually moved to Nashville when I was like, I think 21 or 22. I was like, I'm gonna do the music thing. So I went there, and I was there for about 5 years, and yeah, it was a crazy experience, but that's why I left.
What was crazy?
Well, I think you're just kind of thrown into the like deep end, so to speak, like because I had grown up so like sheltered, it was just kind of shocking for me to like be totally on my own, like needing to make new friends, and like I could do whatever I wanted.
What
And
year were you there?
it would have been 2010 or 11 through like 15 or no, wait, 17.
So we were there
17. Yeah.
during that. We were there during that time period.
Overlap. Okay, cool. Yeah.
We should have done a gig together.
Totally.
We crossed paths somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the freedom was a little overwhelming.
Definitely. And I think I was like, wow, should I like just get it into partying? And did that for a little bit. So yeah, but I think from a music standpoint too, it's like when I was in Orlando, it was kind of the whole like, bigger fish, smaller town. Like people were always like, oh my God, you're so good. Then I moved to Nashville, and it was like the talent there is obviously insane. And so you're like I used to do those like Lightning 100 singer, like the open mic nights or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even there, it'd just be like 30 people that are better than you on any given night. And you're kind of like, oh, okay, this is harder than I thought it would be. Yeah.
And you got to stand out. You got to do something that's a little different than the other people are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not easy. No.
No, it's not.
Is your parents still in Orlando?
Yeah, they actually moved to Tallahassee, so they're not too far from there, but yeah.
I lived in Tallahassee for a while.
Oh wow, I was born there. Yeah.
No way. Were you really? That's interesting. What year were you born there?
1990.
I lived in Tallahassee in 1990.
Wow.
I kid you not. I did. I sure did.
Hey.
My father's was a builder of houses, and when I wasn't in college, he made me work for him as a construction worker. And Tallahassee was booming with new buildings, and I was there working for a long time, almost every summer. And he kept me there longer than the summers because he didn't want me to leave. But yeah, I love Tallahassee. I thought Tallahassee was a great town. I really did.
Wild. Yeah, they like it a lot. But yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah, that's so
That is funny.
My dad may have built their house. Who knows?
Hey, you never know.
Are you working in Nashville, or are you just playing music full time?
Yeah, so I actually do website design during the day, and it's like really flexible because I work for myself. So I do a lot of music stuff. Like I'm usually writing at night, and then I build websites during the day.
That's cool.
So, is that helping with promoting your music at all?
Well, I built my site too, so sometimes I do show people. I'm like, oh, for example, but no, I would say it does feel kind of separate to me. I kind of have to like compartmentalize it for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of I feel like a lot of musicians end up like finding some weird niche thing to do to like make a living, and then so
we
that's
all do that.
Yeah.
We have to. because we have to support our habit.
Exactly.
Music is
I
a
know.
habit,
Yeah. I'm already like thinking about like, oh, can I like save up to record something new again?
every
Yeah.
day. We think
Yeah.
about that all the time. It's
Yeah.
natural, at this level, you
Mhm.
have to, because you have to really, watch the budget,
Totally.
what you can spend your money on, and it comes to music is not cheap. It has never been cheap, and the support out there for us can be great, but it's not always financially rewarding. You know,
Yep.
you can't
Mhm.
pay your bills with claps in a coffee shop.
Only you could. Yeah.
If only we'd be so rich.
I know. We'd be wealthy. Yeah.
Your music right now is available on I know on Apple. Where else can people listen to your music on?
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Bandcamp. I'm trying to think of the like obscure ones. I sent it everywhere. So I
As you
tried to send
should.
it to everywhere. Yeah.
Since I'm like just a brand new fan of yours, do you have any merch at all? Because I totally would wear a
Uh,
t-shirt of yours.
okay. I wish I had more in terms of like t-shirts and stuff. But I don't have any right now. I do have a lyric zine that I made specifically for this album. I did it all myself and printed it at my local FedEx. And so I do have those available on my Bandcamp. It's just like a little lyric zine that kind of, it actually goes in order. So you can like look at it as you're listening to the album, a little companion
All
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Make sure we check that
We'll
out.
check that out. For
Yeah.
sure.
Hey, I'm Leah Lawson. Thanks so much for listening to the Groove Lab podcast. Stay groovy out there.